So the Nigerian Senate has responded to Senator Natasha's speech at the United Nations yesterday, where she accused the Senate of suspending her only and simply because she accused the Senate President of sexually harassing her. Speaking on behalf of the Senate,
Senator Natasha
Honorable Kafila Ogbara read out the statement credited to the Senate leader, Opeyemi Bamidele. Watch.
Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan was suspended for gross misconduct and unruly behavior, and not as a result of allegation of sexual harassment or assault. The authority of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria firmly rebukes the deliberate misinformation and false narratives being circulated by certain media organizations regarding the six-month suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. Let it be unequivocally stated that Senator Uduaghan was suspended solely for a persistent act of misconduct, blatant disregard for the provisions of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended, and gross indiscipline, nothing more, nothing less. This is still the voice of the leader of the Senate. It has come to the attention of the Senate that some media reports are attempting to falsely suggest that Senator Uduaghan's suspension was due to allegations of sexual harassment. This is completely untrue, misleading, and a calculated attempt to distort the facts. If Senator Uduaghan had strictly followed our guiding principles, the Senate would have treated her petition based on merit in line with its practice, but she never obeyed the established practices of the institution where she was serving. Senator Uduaghan's suspension was a decision of the Committee of the Whole Senate, following the submission of a report by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges. The report found her guilty of violating sections 6.1 and 6.2 of the Senate rules and recommended her immediate suspension. The disciplinary action was a response to her repeated violations of legislative decorum, including 1, refusing to sit in her assigned seat during plenary on the 25th February 2025, despite multiple pleas from the leadership and other ranking senators, an act of open defiance and disorderly conduct. 2, speaking without being recognized by the presiding officer in clear violation of parliamentary practices and procedures on the 25th February 2025. 3, engaging in unruly and disruptive behavior, obstructing the orderly conduct of Senate proceedings. 4, making abusive and disrespectful remarks against the leadership of the Senate. 5, defying and refusing to comply with the summons of the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges mandated to investigate cases of misconduct. These actions represented a direct challenge to the authority of the Senate and a violation of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended. The disciplinary measure was therefore necessary and justified to restore order and uphold the integrity of the Senate. Contrary to the false claims being circulated, Senator Uduaghan was not suspended for making any sexual harassment or for submitting a petition. Her petition was rightfully discountenanced because it failed to meet the clear and established procedural requirements for submitting petitions to the Senate. The rules of the Senate apply to all members without exception, and no petition, regardless of its subject, can be considered if it does not follow due process. To suggest that a suspension was linked to a petition is not only a distortion of facts, but an intentional and malicious attempt to mislead the public.
I made similar observations in my video yesterday, so no point flogging a dead horse. However, there are a few questions that I want every Natashian out there to answer. Obviously, I'm not a Natashian, and most probably will never be one. But answers to the following questions will be much appreciated. The alleged sexual harassment happened as far back as November of 2023. So I guess the question is, why did it take Senator Natasha almost 16 months before she told anyone about it?
And he held my hand and said he wanted to show me around his house. My husband was walking behind us. Just three of us were walking around from room to room. He showed me the beautiful interior. This was done by this, by that, this designer here, he bought this from us. Like, oh, it's beautiful. And then I noticed that he hastened his pace while still holding my hand. And my husband was behind, still on his phone, but he was catching up whenever he could. And then he got to this particular sitting room, and he said, "Do you like my house?" I said, "Of course, sir. Every room, beautiful, nice interior, quality taste." He said, "Now that you're a senator, I'm going to create a time for us to come spend quality moments here. You will enjoy it." I went to him in his office. And I said, "Senate President, you know how important this Ajakuta Steel Company to me is." He then said, "Natasha, I'm the chief presiding officer of the Senate. You can enjoy a whole lot if you take care of me and make me happy." At that point, I said, "Sir, I'll pretend that I didn't hear this." He said, "Well, the ball is in your court."
And now that she has told the whole world about what happened in November of 2023 in Akpabio's living room, and considering the fact that the matter has generated a lot of controversies, I guess the question is, why is Senator Natasha slow in taking Senator Akpabio to court?
I have before me a petition.
Now, as you can see in this video,
And a constituent of Kogi
here is
Central.
Senator Natasha.
I have before me a petition by a Nigerian citizen and a constituent of Kogi Central under the name Suberu Azamare Yakubu. And the petition is against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for sexual harassment, abuses of office, and malicious obstruction of legislative functions of distinguished Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan.
Now, having submitted that petition, Senator Natasha can definitely not be expecting to get justice from that same corrupt Senate, right? Next question will be, why hasn't Senator Natasha responded to the latest claims by Reno Omokri?
I got a phone call from a prominent Christian clergyman, and they felt that, okay, as a fellow pastor, I would listen to a member of the body of Christ. This is a senior member of the body of Christ. He called me on three-way with Emmanuel Orisejolomi Akpoti, I think Uduaghan rather. Emmanuel Orisejolomi Uduaghan, Natasha Akpoti's present husband. And they appealed to me, they quoted the scriptural references about Christians taking each other to court, and I listened to them. And we settled the matter out of court. I was paid a large amount of money as damages, and I let the matter go.
And finally, why did Senator Natasha delete the videos of her allegations against Reno? Please kindly drop a comment or two in the comment section. I like to respectfully and constructively engage with you on this.